Good afternoon, everybody. Well, good good afternoon from Perth here in Western Australia. Today it is Sunday afternoon and we've got our live class for writing for nurses. We're also live on YouTube, so anybody can watch us wherever they are. However, well, that wasn't very clever, was it, of me? Because I had the YouTube and I could hear it there. So everybody, welcome to the class today. And there's lots and lots of people. Oh, hi in Vietnam, Armia, FU, Anna, Dolly, oh, lovely. Elisa, good morning to you, darling. Thai, I've got my phone too. Iraq, I hope you can hear me now. Yes. So anybody that's listening live, guys, I know there's a chat line on YouTube, but I can't answer them. So the best way to join our chat and to get involved with the class is to join actually E2 language, because there you can, it's free, there's no obligation, you can just join, and then anything we talk about, anything I want you to do, you can join in and on our webinar chat line. So that makes a big difference, I think. So there is a link on YouTube that just shows you exactly straight away where to join up on E2 language. So Maria, I'm going to stop there. Maria, lovely to have you with you. And Ha Rasid from Pakistan, beautiful. Aloha. Well, there you go. If only we're in Hawaii. But Pakistan, it's not bad. Now, look, I've got this screen up just quickly for those people who are not members of E2 language. It's for a way, like a package you can join up. It's called the Power Package. That's some information there. We're going to have prizes every week. So that is someone for the people who aren't already joined with E2 language. You can find all this on our website too. And of course, all of us and all of you who are actually members already of E2 language, for any packages, for any upgrades, you get the $15 off. All right. So the Power Package doesn't have that, but it's for the people who are already members of E2 language that is there. Now, just a quick run through about some of our packages for the, if you want to focus exclusively on writing, we have the writing intensive. There's 2 writing tasks with full feedback, score report, analytical details of, you know, your, with all the criteria, where you've done well and where you need to improve. There's a lot of animals outside at the moment. Birds, sorry about the noise. And then of course, we've got our one-to-one tutorial. Well, you can have packages up to 3 tutorials, which include writing tasks, which you do, and then you can discuss one-on-one in a tutorial. My opinion, they're the best things to do, because you get speaking practice, you get writing practice, plus with the speaking, you can get feedback. With the writing, you get feedback. And then if you have problems with your reading and listening, you can do that too. And with all our packages, you get the free mini mock test, which is another writing task with feedback, speaking with feedback, and then listening and reading. So that's something that's a really useful. Have a look about all the packages, guys, on E2 language, and pick and choose, and don't forget that together, better together 15 for your $15 discount. So today's class, we're going to test our English with a quiz, of course. We're going to learn a method for completing the writing task, as always. We're going to analyze the task. We're going to select relevant case notes, really important. We're going to plan our writing. We're going to write the start of the letter, which of course is always standard. So get it right and you have no fears of losing any marks. It's just standard, you know. We're going to write the main issue paragraph today. We're going to look at a model letter and of the whole task, a bit more about some other criteria and a little bit of a quiz on those criteria. So let's get going with our grammar. Yes, every week, but it is important, and I still see mistakes in writing assessments, people getting, and of course in speaking, people getting the tenses wrong. There's no need. So our simple present, which we use when we want to make a statement. Mr. Lin urgently requires your expert assistance. So we talk about something that's true now. We also talk about it using, when we talk about something that we do regularly, frequently, sometimes, always. So it's a very useful tense. The present continuous, on the other hand, is what we're talking about, what we're doing now. So, or not only now, like we are having a live class, or you know, it's also around this time, something that's temporary, like Miss Adams is currently receiving treatment for her, or whatever happened to her. Okay, so it's not actually at the moment we talk. It is that, but it's also around that time. Present perfect, always a little bit of an issue here. Here we've got it in the passive voice. Miss Smith has been treated with cold compression therapy. So it's something that's happened in the past. We don't say no when. We don't know when. We're not really interested in the when. We're interested that it's happened. Okay, and that's really important. We also use it for something that happened in the past that also has an effect on now or is still true today. Okay, compared to simple past, which we'll talk about in a second. When we have the present perfect continuous, it's the same sort of idea. It's got a different format, of course. Mrs. Tran has been undertaking. Now, that's not passive voice, that's how it is. We use it to emphasize, for example, the duration of something, how long something's been going on for. So she's been undertaking therapy for the last 2 weeks or since January, whatever. We also use it when we talk about something that's been going on, but repeatedly in a way. We want to make that emphasis, you know. Then we've got the simple past, which is something that happened in the past. It's finished. And most of the time we say when it happened. So we've got here, was admitted to St. Andrews 2 weeks after his operation. So a bit of an idea there of the very popular tenses we use in, well, in English, really. Okay, we're not talking about the future and other things, so we want to talk about more what we use in our writing. So here is our quiz. We've got the options there. Have a go. I'm going to open the chat line so I can see anybody who would like to have a go. Please do. Hi, Mary Louise. Hi, Galaxy S8. So, hi, we. And so, yes, have a go for those people who want to. Popping onto the chat line. It's going to be really, really good. That's the best way of testing yourselves. 60 seconds. Well done, Elizabeth. Well done, Elisa. Oh, wow. Sandra. Okay. Good, April. Lovely. Fun. Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, they aren't exactly the same things as I talked about, of course, but anyway, there are the examples. Beautiful wing. Eliza, one by one. Good girl. Rashid. Okay, good. Got passive voice, got a whole collection of things. So we've got here, since her first child had been born with Down syndrome, she felt it would be prudent to undergo an amniocentesis despite the risks involved. Now, here we've got the past perfect. We didn't talk about that before, but we've got the main verb is in the simple past. And we want to make the emphasis really to separate this from this. So we use the past perfect. We could have used the simple past. It would have been fine, since her first child was born with Down syndrome, she felt. But using the past perfect, it just sort of separates that in a way. And we often use that with before and after when we're talking about time. But next one, it is the duty of the prescribing doctor, here we've got, to ensure. So that's just the infinitive, that patients are educated in layman's terms about the importance of their medication. So in the absence of a positive aspirate test, an X-ray must be obtained. Another infinitive here, but it's the passive voice. So our verb to be is in the infinitive, and we have the past participle. It's standard for whatever verb you're using. And we've got those modal verb like must, should, could, would, and all those may, might. They all work in the same way if it's in the passive voice. Since signals from specific parts of the body end up in specific parts of the brain, sensations of touch in the limb can be provoked by, and that takes the ing, activating the relevant neurons. Okay, I think most people got them perfectly well done. Good. So, as I said, we've got a few different things there, and just someone died, not birthed, yes. Well, we'd only ever use that, would you believe, with boats. So boats berth in the harbour or at the docks, but when you have a baby, it's always passive voice. So the baby was born or had been born, or it could be, we could say, is being born at this moment. Yeah. All right. So well done, everybody, for that. And let's have a quick review of the test, what it requires us to do. We need, of course, first things first, to read and analyze the task, which is at the bottom of the page. So dive for that first. Read and analyze the case notes. Write a letter. It's a letter of referral, discharge, or transfer. And we start by reading. I know you're not allowed to write at that time. And in fact, it is useful because it's going to make you concentrate. You need to determine who you will write to, or who you're going to write to, and what action you want them to take. Then we read the case notes. They have headings and subheadings, so use them as a guide to keep it organized. And we need, based on who we're writing to, based on what action we want them to take, we need to understand the key facts about the condition, and then identify the relevant information and decide how relevant they are, or well, if they're relevant at all. Okay, then we've got our 40 minutes, so we're allowed to write, but don't just dive into the writing. It's well worth making a short plan. Then we write carefully. Each paragraph, make sure they have one idea, or let's say one group of things that fit together. That should take 35 minutes about, and make sure you write within the word limit, which is about 180 to 200 words. They're not super strict about the word limit, but they do expect you to deliver the letter in a way that it, with all the relevant information, and it being clear and concise and not too wordy to fit you know, in that 180 to 200 words. Everybody's a little bit different, but if you stick to the general rules, you can get it done. So we need to read first, and we need to analyze the task. Yes, that idea. Who are we writing to? What job do they do? What action should they take? So what key information do they need to do the action? And if they have any prior knowledge of that particular patient, then we read the case notes to determine which ones are relevant, which ones are, when we say repeated, we mean the sort of the idea is mentioned in, you know, more than once. The general theme, and which ones, of course, we don't need. So here is our letter. Now, I know a lot of you might have seen this, but it's a tough one. And it's well worth having a go at it. Even if you've done it before, it's one of the ones that cause a lot of issues with everybody that practices it in their assessments. If you haven't, well, that makes it much better. So we've got our information. We need to think, well, okay, who am I writing to? You notice it's a discharge letter, which is everybody's been asking me for. What action do I want the reader to take? What does the reader need to know? And what does the reader already know about the patient? Okay, now, so we've got the information on our little card there. From that card, the task card, think about what information you can get that is going to help you when you start reading the notes, the case notes. There's not a lot, but anybody having a go? Thanks, Elisa. Thanks, Elisa. Thank you, everybody. Some people, yes, they, oh, okay, yes. Okay, we need to know the doctor's name, of course, but what's really, really important is what role that person plays. So we're writing to the patient's GP, okay, and the name, of course, is Dr. Katrina Wren. Sorry. Then what do we want that reader to do? It's for further medical evaluation and treatment. So they're being discharged, in fact, back to the GP. What does the reader need to know? Well, the patient's current situation, their condition, and any relevant history about what we're dealing with at the moment. Does the reader already know something? Well, with a GP case like this, they will know something about the patient. But there's a little issue in this one, so be careful and don't presume that the patient is a regular patient and was there just before all this happened. So those sorts of things can happen. Now, we've got the case notes here. We've got to think which ones are relevant, which ones are repeated in the way that we've talked about them before, or the sort of idea has been mentioned at another time, and what is not relevant. Now, it's very important. It belongs to two of the criteria. The content criteria, you can see there, which is worth 7 marks, not for that actual thing, but it plays you know, plays an important role. That the key information is included and that no important details are missing. Then in the other one, the fact that it needs to be concise and clear, that it's the writing is at the right length, and that of course that no irrelevant information is included. Now, as a nurse that has been looking after Miss Kinser in this case, things might be relevant. Well, the things in the notes are relevant to you because you've written them, or you know, a member of your staff has written them, so of course they are. But we've got to filter out what is relevant only for the person you're writing to, which is very different in a way. I mean, of course, some of them are, but not everything. So here we've got our case note for Miss Kinser. There's not too many, which is good, but I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm going to open the chat line too, so I'm very interested to see everybody's ideas and which things you would pick. Don't forget always to check the discharge plan. It really helps, as well as the task, the discharge plan, because there we know where we are focusing on and what needs to be done. So we need to have covered that sort of those details in our letter. Now, there's still other stuff, other notes which are going to be important within the task. And you've got to think about which ones are relevant and which ones, you know, are not so important for the GP in this case. Amir, good one, yes. Pretty generic, yep. Definitely the admission details, and there are a lot of them, aren't there? Yes. You might want to filter those out, or that's interesting, Eliza, about her sexual behavior, let's say we could say. Think also about what actually brought her into hospital. Why did she come and see you at St. Vincent's? And that's going to help also with the way everything gets organized. Amir, yes, the medication, that's a good one for sure. Someone's talked about her smoking. Interesting. And of course, her alcohol use. So her general social life. Thanks, Fung. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Heart. Good. Yes. Well, why did she come to the hospital? Why did she come? I mean, she's got two things going on, really, hasn't she? Yes, I think that's what's going to bring her in. Well, the idea of her the pain always brings somebody in, and the other things that are going on there, but also something else probably brought her into Thigh, yes. Oh, and her interesting thigh, yes. Here we are, Sandra. I've seen somebody noticed it. Yes, you see, there's the whole, the lip laceration, which is, of course, infected. So it's probably pretty worrying for her. So she's got a lot to come in to do. I think it's very important. I think I've seen one person who mentioned it, that the fact that, you know, it's actually 7 years since she saw the GP. We were talking about the fact that we write into the GP and they know about the history. That 7 years, I think a lot has happened. So 1 plus 50 is 5T. Thank you very much. So there's things you have to notice which are going to play an important role for the GP and the information you give her. So our time is up. Thank you, everybody. And Thusani, good. Now, that's interesting, Thusani. You said about the social background is not relevant. But as we said, so we need further medical evaluation and treatment. But look here, we've got here, make an appointment with the sexual health clinic, make an appointment with a social worker. So this is why I said to you, these sorts of things in the discharge plan will guide you to what is important, because the fact that we want the GP to contact the social worker, it's because of her social background and the other issues she's having. Okay, so in fact, we don't really have a lot of repeated things or meant things like that have the 2 sections. We've got just the cultures, the blood tests, and then we've got them for the doctor to follow up. So that's why, as I said, it's not really repeated, but they're connected elsewhere. Lots of information in the admission details. So, I mean, she, as far as coming in and out of hospital, it was only the 1 day. Okay, so but we've got all that. We've got about the sexual life, the fact she smokes, drinks quite a lot of alcohol. Okay, we always mention, we don't say she's a heavy smoker or she's an alcoholic or something. We want to mention the details. Okay, her nursing management with medications, and then the all we need that we want the GP to do. There's quite a bit, even though they want a lot of case notes. Now remember, and every week we say this, each letter is extremely different to the other. So don't have a template and think, okay, that letter worked very well when I was, you know, when I wrote that letter, and I'll use the same template. No, each time is very different. What you put in your paragraphs, the order you set up your letter can vary dramatically from one time to the next. So we've got our writing, we've got one main issue we're going to do today, which is with the main issue. We'll see the whole thing, the secondary, the other details. And we've got to work out how we're going to plan and write the beginning of our letter. So as we said, we have no template for writing the letter. The address and how we set the beginning out of the letter is just a template, really, and we need to follow that outline. Get it right and you'll have no troubles. Then we're going to take some notes or think about the notes we're going to use and make a plan. Think about how many paragraphs. I mean, it's usually about 5 in total. It can be 6. And think about what feasibly goes in each paragraph. And then we're going to write our letter. Well, you're going to write the letter and keep checking the relevance to the person we're writing to, making sure that the order, the priority is right. So we've got the most important things first, and always leave a few minutes to check your work at the end. So here is our letter, simple really. And this is the way we need to set up the address. So we've got the title and the full name of the recipient. We all, that's the sort of, the beginning title. We need their job title. And then we usually have, say, the clinic address, the street, then the suburb. We use the test date. So on your test date, all the dates are going to match with the exam date. And then we can have the dear. We just use the title and the family name. And then the can go here or here. Patient's title, their full name, if we have it, and either their age or the date of birth. We don't use both, whatever you get chosen. And you see here, we do not have any full stops here, periods after these letters. I don't need it. And then our final, yours sincerely. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to write that. We've got our patient, Miss Cassandra Kinser, Miss, and she's 32 years old. So 90 seconds to have a good go at getting that looking super. Elisa already got there, well done. Two FU, beautiful. The dress is lovely, no punctuation. Wynne said about why the alcohol consumption. Well, firstly, it's not good for her health. But secondly, that is because, well, firstly, the doctor should know. Secondly, we asked the doctor to, look at me, didn't put the time. Whoopsie. We've asked the doctor to contact a social worker. And so we have to talk about the social issues. Okay. We don't, and then of course we need to ask the doctor to contact the sexual health clinic. And so we need to talk about her sexual behavior. So those things, you can see quite easily how it can be separated into different paragraphs. Hi, Glory. Lovely to have you with us. Yeah. So, Dr. Catherine, don't forget the doctors, the names do take a capital for the first name and the family name. Well, Glory, join us and you will see. Practice and watch, and you'll really help you. Okay, I want you to join in, Glory, and get out there and have a go. Makes a big difference. I mean, I'm just looking at them all, everybody. As I said, if you come from the live streaming on YouTube, you can watch all the live class, the free live classes, but unfortunately, I don't have a chance to contact you or see the things you write in the chat line over there. It has to be on Zoom. The title of the patient, it's not life and death, Anna. If it's there, it would be better to write it, of course. Sandra, thank you. Definitely. It's not life and death, it's just more formal. We do not, Elisa, we don't put any commas in the address. It must be without punctuation. Yes. Rashid, we don't put any punctuation in the address. Our first comma is after the patient's name, or if you put the doctor, the dear doctor, it's after the doctor's name. Okay, beautiful, everybody. Lots and lots of people. Wow. Yes, after yours sincerely also. You'll see now. You'll see now. This is exactly how it needs to be. So we've got dear doctor, we've got the date. Now, the date can be up here. The date can be here. You can use the full words, or you can use numbers, 17/01/2018, for sure. You can write however you like. Dear Dr. Wren. So this is where you're going to get your first comma, re, and the second letter is a small one, like doctor, like miss, because it's part of a word. It's not like a GOB. It's not an initial. It's more of it's abbreviation. So it's something cut short, and that's why it doesn't have capital letters. So Cassandra Kinzer, age 32 years old. You could have age 32, 32 years old. There's various ways of putting it. And then yours sincerely, comma, you can put your name, but make sure you put your title, charge nurse. Good. There we go. Now we are said we were going to plan and check the case notes again. We said how many paragraphs you get in your mind, you know, as I said, usually around about 5 with the introduction and the request action paragraph. So 3 central ones, it could be more. Do not worry. It's better to have more paragraphs than not enough. What is the key information that the recipient needs? We need to start really telling the GP, Miss Kinzer's story of when, you know, you met them. Do we need to put sign between the sign-off words? Yes, we do, Mr. Tofo. We do. We don't really have, we didn't have enough space there. You can put the re before or after the dear. They are flexible. As with the date. Now, no, the re isn't that. Olu. The re is just the person's name and the age. We don't put discharge letter. That is in the letter itself. Now, if you make a mistake, Parag, yes. Someone asked me the other day if they could write with pencil. Of course, you can use a pencil if you would be more comfortable, but you need a different pencil to the 2B, the soft ones you use for the listening and writing. Okay, so you probably have it just an HB or an ordinary pencil, and then bring an eraser with you. So if you want to do it that way. Otherwise, if you've got a pen, you just make a mistake, you put a line through it. Scribble it all out, just a line and carry on. So either. Re means, let's say, regarding, which means about. But it's, Daniel, it's an R with a small e. Erasing, as I said, Elisa, Anna, yes, you can with all subtests. So make sure you have a very good quality eraser, because if you're going to make a mistake, especially in something like the reading or the listening, they are marked by computer, and they're very sensitive. So it's important to make sure that if you've made the mark, that you've completely erased it, and so there's no evidence. Otherwise, the computer is not going to pick it all up. It would be an HB in writing, Maria, not the 2B. Okay, so a harder pencil than the very soft one we need in for the reading and the listening. Okay, so these are our planning notes. Now, this is for the main. So we've got why, you know, the sort of all this is what made her come in, really. the fact, of course, that she had abdominal pain, that she's had burning with urination for the last several weeks, that she's got increased vaginal discharge that is itchy. She's had intermenstrual bleeding, metrorrhagia, for 3 months. She reports painful sexual intercourse also for the last 3 months. Doesn't use any protection. Another issue is her lip laceration, which is infected and swollen. She's got a left black eye, bruised ribs. She appears distressed and emotional, and she was uncooperative. She didn't tell us about what was going on. Well, she wasn't very forthcoming. We could see the evidence, but she wasn't really telling us. That's a lot in one paragraph. I might have done it in 2, but let's see what you can come up with in your writing. And we've got a few extra expressions here. She presented upon examination, accompanied by, reported something, and over the last months, whatever. And you can just quickly see here, I'm writing regarding Miss Kinser, who last attended your general practice in 2011. She requires ongoing monitoring of her sexual health and social welfare. Because this is, in general, what these things are. So I'm going to give you the 5 minutes, and I'm going to open the chat so everybody can have a go. Okay. Thanks, Ha, for that. I'm just looking at the first one that's come through. Yes, just found it a little bit, what's the word? Not actually accurate, because you haven't mentioned how long she's been having those problems. It's what you've said, it's as though they are just while she was admitted to the hospital. Okay, so, you know, the fact, I think you need to focus the fact that they've been going on for 3 months. That's good, Rashid. Yes. Good, huh? Yes. You see, you need to bring that time. That's good, Wing. Not bad at all. Probably a tiny bit long. I'm just trying to think. The time, of course, has stopped. But anyway, we do another couple of minutes. Mr. Tofu, yes. Yes, Miss Kinser was appeared. No, appeared. Okay. May, lovely. Yes, it's important to group those things together. So if it's in the same paragraph, good. Amir, yeah. You're very close. Yeah. So Rashid does not, we can't use that, yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, I think, so that was my idea. Sometimes they've come out very long, which is not difficult, which is, you know, it's a bit tough. And it would have been, you would have been okay to, in fact, actually have two paragraphs, sort of in a way. You could, because we've got the story of her lip laceration, her black eye, and all that, and we've got the sexual, you know, situation. Let's see what we've got, how they've done it. As I said, any model letter or anything you see or what we write, this it's not the only way. So Miss Kinser presented in a state of distress with a bruised left eye and ribs. Okay, as well as an infected cut lip. She was not forthcoming about her immediate circumstances. So that's how she presented, which is interesting because what they've put there is what they saw. So they were all things that they can see. Then separating it with the expression upon examination, she had some abdominal pain and reported a burning sensation when urinating for the previous, well, I would have put 3 months, accompanied by vaginal discharge and itchiness and discharge. So a lot more brief, but in fact, it has covered it. And in that way, it's okay in one paragraph because it's that initial presentation, but they've separated from what they can see, so the external part, and then with the upon examination, the internal parts. It's quite clever, really, and it's quite a good idea to think about that because it could fit with other situations. You know, as I said, every time it's different. And sometimes things like this are, you can have the obvious external signs and then the internal signs. So that expression, upon examination, is a very good way to show things different. Of course you can use the technical words, Elisa. Definitely, the GP would definitely know what it is. Okay, for sure. You know, absolutely no problem. And there's April's there. Yeah, beautiful. Just in yours, April, you've got increased vaginal discharge was noticed. Now, if it's something's increased, you need to have seen her the day before or a week before to notice the difference. So for you, she might have said to you that it has increased, but in fact, you just saw probably a large amount. Okay, so it's that word. Sometimes things sound different when they're, you know, when they're put in a paragraph. So you've got to be a little bit careful. Any changes, and you are examining them, you can't see the changes. The changes have happened. And that's the difference. Unless you've examined her week before and you've seen the change, and then you are describing that. So there's lots of small details really that play an important role. So I'm writing regarding Miss Kinzer, who last attended your practice in 2011. She requires ongoing monitoring of her sexual health and welfare. In fact, we're not really talking about the dates here because she was only in one day, and it's sort of the date that you were writing. She presented in a state of distress with a bruised left eye and ribs, as well as an infected cut lip. She was not forthcoming about her immediate circumstances. Become important, yet that she wouldn't explain. Upon examination, she had some abdominal pain and reported a burning sensation when urinating for the previous 3 months or several weeks. Okay, accompanied by vaginal itchiness and discharge. Over the last 3 months, Miss Kinzer has been experiencing vaginal bleeding between periods. Okay, and pain during unprotected sexual intercourse. So we've got what happened and what was discussed in the examination, and then another paragraph developing the general problems that have happened over the last 3 months. And pain during unprotected sexual intercourse with multiple partners. They put it all together. She smokes more than 40 cigarettes and drinks up to 12 units of alcohol on a daily basis. So that's for the social worker. Another paragraph they've got for the treatment. Miss Kinzer's lip has been treated and she's been prescribed oxycodone and oral clindamycin for whatever it is you can see. Okay, that's just it. Kindly review, yes, perhaps I would have put, you know, the tests were done. But anyway, kindly review the results of Miss Kinzer's urine and blood tests. Okay, the fact we've got the results mean that they've been done, in addition to her vaginal swab culture. An appointment will need to be made at the earliest opportunity with the sexual health clinic, as well as a social worker, to review her present circumstances. Finally, please ensure that she is compliant with her prescribed antibiotics. All those were from the discharge plan. Yours sincerely, you see there's the gap, charge nurse. All right, so we have gaps, double gaps here, 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 and here. Take a photo, everybody, or if you've got a laptop, you can do a print screen. And so you've got that letter, how it looks. You can write it yourself, you know, forget what we've done here. And there are lots and lots of other ways, but it's a very good one here. It's well organized, it's developed, things are collected up in the right place, and then we've got all the important things we need to ask our GP to do in our request paragraph. Okay, so let's move on. How is it scored? Let's focus on this very important criteria, the conciseness and clarity. We talk about the pretty flexible with the length of the document, but we need to summarize and we need to be clear and concise, because this is going to make it easier to read and within the right number of words. Whereas if you don't do that, it's very laborious to read a letter with a lot of words that are really not necessary. And, you know, of course, you're going to go over the word count. So there's 2 negatives. There's lots of things that we can write in a much shorter way. And we've got things like, we wouldn't use in spite of the fact that. We would use instead like although. You've got to think, but, although, however, we want to do the contrast. It's lovely to say in spite of the fact that, but it's not useful in our type of writing. So we've got some phrases here. We've got the single words to replace the phrases. We don't need to use all that. So in the vicinity of, we can use very simply near. In the near future, soon. Okay, fundamental basis. Well, that's just the basis, because a basis is something fundamental. A true fact. Well, it's true. I think that should be actually a fact, because a fact is something that's true. Anyway, brief summary. Well, a summary should be brief. Close scrutiny. We just talk about scrutiny. We don't need to put everything. Currently at this time. Well, currently means at this time or now. The vast majority, the majority is enough. I mean, words like vast majority, close scrutiny, brief summary, they are adjectives which are adding stuff. But we want to be precise and concise, that we don't actually need to include all those things. The exact same, well, is the same. 12 midnight, well, midnight is 12 o'clock, it's no other time. 9 a.m. in the morning, of course, 9 a.m. is only in the morning. Repeat again, which of course is no good because it's already, we just repeat. Longer or shorter in length. So, well, it could be longer and shorter. We might, okay, if we want to be specific, in time, in length, in height, okay, but usually it's more than enough just to say longer or shorter. And circle around, well, you can't go anywhere else in a circle. Okay, hang on a second, Fi, I will answer that. Let's just carry on here. Can you think of simpler alternatives for these words? So, in the direction of, towards, during the time that, while, located at, just at, in the event that, or if. So, take out the word that wherever it's not needed. Perhaps you can remove other words too. So the doctor said that she had found that the procedure was too risky and that she wanted to explore other options first. How can we get rid of some of those extra that's? And is there anything else we can get rid of to make it a lot more clear and concise? The doctor said she had found the procedure too risky and she wanted to explore other options first. Okay, we don't need all those things. So you can Save yourself lots of words. Now, we've got 3 sentences here. 3.5 minutes to have a go and think which things, well, how can you put it in a better way? While you're doing that, I'm going to just answer Thai, who said, I've just enrolled to this course yesterday. So I'm not sure how long for this course. At about 6 months, Thai. It depends what course you enrolled in. I know the new one is for a month. Oh, in bronze. I'm just going to, it should say, I'm just looking while you, my phone while we're doing it. That's a great package you've included. Oh, that's clever. Didn't say it. Oh, I printed it all out, so I have it here. 12 months access, Thai. 12 months. Okay, so that's fantastic. One of the best ones we've got. Although the silver is more popular, it's a very good price. You get the mini mock test included for free, and it's for a whole 12 months. I know they've all been extended, and I hope you've got your $15 off it. Yes. Asmita. Ah, well, it will be recorded, Asmita, so you can see it from the beginning. Okay, everybody, not bad. Everybody's effort. Thank you, thank you. Good. Oh, wing, amazing. Okay, good one. Georgiana, nice to have you. Monica. There's, at the moment, we've only got one mini mock test, Monica. Now, interesting, I know the guys are working on a second one, which is really good. Hopefully, by next week, I will be able to tell you when it will be ready. I'm taking a note now. So, second. Okay. And so if you've done one at the beginning of your course, for example, you can always do another one. Or if you paid for one and then joined with a package, you don't want to do the same one again. So hang in there. Hopefully we will have the other one out before you guys need to take the exam. Fantastic, everybody. So he said the biopsy results would be ready on Wednesday at 7 a.m. Most people got that right. So currently at this time, well, they've got rid of it all. Many patients having sleeping problems and may be awake. Many patients have speaking problems, okay, because we're talking about using the simple present. So it's a fact, whether it's now, it was before, or whenever, it's true fact. And may be awake after midnight and again at 5 a.m. Following his heart attack, Donald was concerned that exertion made him feel weak. He was so worried that he made an appointment with his GP to discuss his concerns. So we got rid of a lot. Okay, that's just someone Parag was on the Q&A. Well done. No, Dolly, the power package is, it doesn't, it has, oh, it does. It has a mini mock test included. And this is for the new ones, yeah, the new people. Expert writing assessment, intensive study plan, and the weekly prizes to be won. 1 month's free access, live classes, practice questions, method lessons. Yeah, something very, very new, just coming out. Unfortunately, there isn't the $15 off, but you've got to go to the website, guys. There's the help at E2 language. Yes, Mr. Tofu, that's a very good question. He asked us about, should we separate the information in a new paragraph, or should we put it together? Look, there's the thing about the power package, everybody, what I'm saying. It depends how you do it. You're never going to be, well, I mean, there's a limit of, you don't want about 8 paragraphs, but what we're trying to do is get something that's very precise and concise and clear. And so by separating the information in the best way that you think, and if you want to put it in different paragraphs, the way that suits you, as long as you prioritize the information, they're pretty flexible. Now, I mark thousands of writings, every year, and I never see one the same. And so, that's not going to be something that fails them. They don't have to be like the model letter. So Narendran wants to join all the modules, such as listening and writing. Now, if you're new, Narendran, you extra writing assessment. That's interesting. The best, of course, the best packages, and because we've got the $15 off, it's worth going for a package with tutorials. You get the mock test, you get assessment writing, you get the one-to-one tutorial, you get you can have access to all the live classes, and even the ones that you miss, they're all the recordings. There's all the lessons, there's overviews, there's, so well worth it, Narendra. If you've got time, it's worth spending a little bit more money on your preparation, especially at the moment, and you will reap the benefits. Now, Amir has put up their email address for anyone who wants to practice speaking. I'm more than happy on our webinar chat for people to swap details, organize speaking practice with each other, things like that. I think it's a brilliant, brilliant idea. We're here to help each other. Okay. There is the OET Facebook page, of course. There's the blog. There's lots of ways of keeping in touch. Okay. So this, guys, people, if they want to use, copy people's email addresses and get in touch with each other as far as practicing, especially speaking, you've all got Zoom. You can practice together, one person being the patient, the other one being the health professional, and then swapping backwards and forwards. Perfect, perfect, perfect. But it's really good to do it on a tutorial package where you have that feedback, you have that contact with one of us. I mean, with me, I teach all the time. I'm available every day at the moment because I know a lot of people are working really hard in hospitals. So I thought to myself, well, I'm more than happy to be available every day, Saturdays and Sundays, because, my students aren't always available. So I've tried to make my availability as much as possible, so I'm there for you. So think about your budget, think about your time, and work on what you might want to do as far as getting the best. There's the better together, the 15. So for all packages, and if you've already got, say, a bronze or another package, and you want to get a higher package, it also works for that too. Any problems, help@e2language.com. And the girls there are online all day. Sandra, I'm available all the time. The thing with when you book a tutorial, most of the time it's a bit of potluck. You put your time available, and we have our time available. So it's like a match in the way. Now, don't forget, we're all in different time zones. So I'm in Perth time zone, so now it's 5 o'clock, but I do work from, say, 9 till 7. So there's all that. But if you're in a time, where that doesn't match, you're going to get people more available in your hours. So, but because I work till 7 p.m., I am available, say, in a European morning, that sort of stuff. So, but if you're really desperate to have a tutorial with me or with another teacher, all you have to do is contact the helpline, say, look, I want to have a tutorial with Judy. These are the hours that I'm available. Put where you are so that they can work it out, and they will match you up with me or contact me. And as I said, I'm very flexible, because I know, especially you guys at this time, everybody's giving the most they can, and we need to bend back, help you too. That's the whole way it works, doesn't it? So I'm going to leave you now, and hope that you're all feeling good, feeling empowered, and not losing your enthusiasm. I know a lot of places are opening for the 16th of May, which is really 2 or 3 weeks away. Wow. Unfortunately, a lot of them are quite a lot later in the UK, Hong Kong, not until June, July. So hang in there, be with us, be with each other, join the blogs, join the Facebook, get involved with things. It makes it much more interesting for you. Okay. Thanks, Mayor. Yes, Mayor said perhaps the exam times will be moved again. It all depends what's happening in your country. Okay, tomorrow, even for us, things have changed. We can meet with 10 people rather than 2. So things, I don't know for you, Elisa, how things are going there in Italy. There's a lot going on. And for you guys, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, it's spring, it's summer. I know you must be desperate to get out. Yes. Oh, that's great, Mayor. You see, so it's all going to depend on what's going on in your neck of the wood. Gorgeous, lovely to have had you with us today, and thank you so much for taking part and really working hard. They're all recorded. You can use, you can go back and use the notes, think about it again in your own time, re-practice, do those things. There's plenty of opportunities to use the live classes for your benefit. Okay, hope to see you very soon, either in the mini mock tests, tutorials. Time is going by, and they say all things must pass. We will definitely eventually get out of the tunnel. Okay, bye everybody. Bye-bye.